wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
Welcome to Pesat Speaks Up. I'm Hilbram. I'm gonna be the host for this meeting. In this meeting, we're going to learn. We're going to watch an amazing performances from two groups who will explain to us about some fresh topics that will blow your mind. In this video conference, I'm not alone. I'm here with my friend Umar as the moderator. Okay, Umar, I'll give this meeting to you. Time and place is yours.
Okay, thank you, Hilbram, for that great opening and introduction. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everyone. The Honorable Ms. R. Sri Wilujeng, MPD, as the Quality Supervisor of SMA Plus PGRI CIbinong, Ms. Wirya Aini, MPD, as the Quality Supervisor of SMA Plus PGRI CIbinong, Ms. Theodora Sabarina, MPD, as our educator and also English teacher of SMA Plus PGRI CIbinong, and Ms. Lariska Setiani, of course, SPD, as our homeroom teacher of Pioneer class. And hello to all the participants. First, let me introduce myself just one more time. My name is Umar Dwi Aryotomo Maludin, from Science 10, Unggulan 1. And I welcome you to the first Speak Up of Pioneer class. Okay, so today we will witness two performance or presentation from group 1, two separate presentation from group 1 and group 2. Okay, so please allow me to introduce the presenters for today. So from group 1, we have Naskia Najidah Ramdhani as the captain of group 1, Aleika El Malik Hasibuan, and also Nashwa Nur Aziza. And for group 2, we have Muhammad Malcolm X as the captain for group 2, Alia Farida Hana, and last but not least, Nayaka Zikir Naya. Okay, so group 1, what is the topic you're going to tell us today?
So the topic that group 1 will bring it to you is we're going to talk about mental illness in teens.
Wow, okay, great. So without further ado, everyone, I give you group 1. Group 1, you may start your presentation now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our first Pesat Speak Up.
And again, welcome everyone. And today we're going to bring the topic about mental illness in teens and adolescents.
Let's start with the presentation. Please share the PowerPoint, Naskia.
Okay, hello, my name is Nashwa Nur Aziza. I am from 10th grade Science Unggulan 1. I am 14 years old.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Naskia Najidah Ramdhani. I am from the 10th grade Science Unggulan 1, and I'm also 14 years old. I think we have some technical issue for Aleika. Are you there, Aleika? Can you hear us?
I'm lagging. I'm sorry. Okay. Hello, my name is Aleika Markasiwan. I am from 10th grade Science Unggulan 1. I am 14 years old. So yeah, and now let's start our presentation.
All right, so maybe because I have some technical issue, maybe I can start with the slide one. So, okay, so today we're going to talk about what is mental illness. So mental illness is also known as mental disorder. It's a term that refers to a variety of condition, affect a person's thoughts, feelings, moods, or behavior. This condition can occur occasionally or last for a long time. Mental illness also really important because it is affecting our mental and physical statement, and it could affect our daily life, and that's how important it is. And today we're going to talk about mental illness in teens specifically. And next thing is, before we get to specific thing about mental illness, I want to tell you what is teenager. The definition of teenager is someone who's in a period of transition from childhood to adulthood. And according to WHO, adolescents occur in the range of 12 to 24 years. In this phase of life, adolescents mostly experience multiple changes, such as physical, emotional, and social changes. And adults play a big role in this case to lead their kids, especially the teenager, so that they can have a stable mental condition. And now we are going to tell you how important it is and what you should do. The next thing is there's several type of mental disorder, and the first one is anxiety disorder. Behavioral problems such as like bullying, eating disorder, depression, and risk behaviors such as doing drugs and alcohols. And yeah, and next I will pass the presentation to Naswa.
Okay, thank you, Naskia. Now I will talk about anxiety disorder. Anxiety is normal reaction to stress and it can be beneficial in some situations. It can alert us to danger and help us prepare and pay attention. Anxiety disorder differ from normal feelings of nervousness or nervousness and involve excessive fear of anxiety. Anxiety disorder usually appear in adolescents. Considering in adolescence period, we are going through crucial developments such as physical, emotional, and social changes. These feelings of anxiety and panic interfere with daily activity, are difficult to control, are out of proportion to the actual danger and can last a long time. You may avoid place of situation prevent these feelings. The fact that teenagers 15 until 24 years have a depression percentage of 6.2%. Severe depression would have a tendency to hurt yourself. We call self-harm. To the suicide, 80 until 90 of the suicide are the result of depression and anxiety. There are variety of anxiety disorder. For example, social anxiety, like an intense fear of anxiety about social situation. Generalized anxiety disorder becomes anxiety that can occur in daily life. Phobias like intense fear of specific things or situation. Panic disorder involve repeat episodes of sudden feelings of intense anxiety and fear of terror and reach a peak take minutes. We call panic attack. Experiencing and anxiety disorder is childhood disorder characterized by anxiety that's excessive for the child developmental level and related to experience excessive for parents or other who have parental roles. And now I will explain the case of anxiety disorder. There are two factors cause it: genetic and biology factor. The first is family genetic. The genetic component of social anxiety disorder can indeed and inherited mention that the level of risk caused by heredity. About 30 to 40% that about turn of people who suffer from this disorder come from genetic. Second, certain personality. People with certain personality types are more prone to anxiety. Social or psychology factor. First is excessive and unsolved stress. Usually come because of overthinking. As a human, it's a normal for feel stress, but if we are not get rid of stress and keep thinking about it, it can cause anxiety. Like me last night. Second, severe trauma. Children who had sexual experience of witness traumatic, even in child are higher risk of developing an anxiety disorder. And adults, not only children, but adults too. The third is bad and toxic society. Our environment is one of the biggest of influence of mental health. Having a bad environment can cause us who have to mental anxiety disorder. And now I will pass the presentation to Naskia. Go ahead, Naskia.
All right. Thank you so much, Nashwa. So first of all, I want to say that actually I have some again technical issue. But we will continue about it. So after we talk about anxiety disorder and the causes, I would like to share you some of the symptoms of anxiety disorder. First thing is excessive worrying. Excessive worrying, it is the feeling when you feel worry of something that you're not supposed to worry of, but like you overthink it. And then second, difficult to concentrate. People who usually have mental disorder, anxiety disorder, they keep thinking and they have like anxiety, which make them difficult to concentrate on their work, study, and daily activities. And then struggling to sleep well. Anxiety disorder make you keep thinking and sometimes stress, which is hard for people to get a nice and calm sleep. And they end up to stay awake all night long. And the fourth one is panic attack. So as Nashua mentioned before, there's a lot of types of anxiety disorder, and one of it is social anxiety disorder. So people with social anxiety disorder, usually they get panic attack when they are in a crowd or there are too many social interaction, which make them start feel nervous, shaking, and feel an intense fear. And yeah, there's some of the symptoms. And the next thing that I want to share to you guys is how to prevent anxiety disorder. So again, there's a lot of types of anxiety disorder, and there's more way to prevent it. So the first thing is meet the need for sleep and rest. So we as a human, we need sleep, we need rest because we're not a robot. We need to sleep in the night so we can heal or charge our body to do activities in the next morning. So maybe for an adult, according to Sleeping Foundation, adult need 7 and more hours to sleep, while teenager 12 until 18 years old, they need like around 8 to more hours to sleep. And yeah, so maybe with meet the need for rest and sleep that can prevent you from anxiety disorder. The second one is physical activity. So as a human, we need to keep moving and be active. And one of it is do physical activities. So you can go exercise, you can do dancing, jogging, and etc. Third one is seek professional help if needed. I know it's still a taboo things or like weird things like to go to psychologists or like therapists, because for some people or most of people, going to therapists or psychologists is like when you're going mad or crazy, which actually is not the fact that actually going to therapist or psychologist is just going to someone who can understand you or you're going through, it makes you feel better. And actually I went to like therapist or like psychologist before, and it is not as scary or as crazy as you think. And yeah, it is really fun to like share your problems, and the fact that they can understand what's going on and what you feel. So seek professional help if needed. Fourth is maintain good relationship with others. As social beings, we can't live alone. We need someone beside us, like a partner. So maybe having a good relationship with someone you trust, someone you love. It's not just lover relationship. It could be family relationship, friendship, and yeah, other kind of relationship. Last but not least is maintain positive thoughts. I know it's hard to like keep having like positive thoughts, because as human we have negative vibes also, and negative thoughts towards people and other things. But we if you have a positive thoughts, automatically you feel more comfortable, you feel more happier, because with positive vibes you can be more confident with yourself, you confident what you're doing or what you look like. So with that you can live life happier. And yeah, before we end our presentation today, I would like to share you a bit of a video. Yep. Wait, let me share the.
We all know that physical health is important and is something we need to look after so that we can stay fit and well. With mental health, it's the same. We all need to take care of our mind so that we can think and feel the way we want to and have a more enjoyable future. Mental health is about looking after our thoughts, feelings, and emotions so that we are well enough to cope with everyday life and feel content with our relationships, our abilities, and our potential. It can seem more difficult to look after our mental health than our physical health. And some people think you can never feel better if you have a mental health problem. But that's not true. If you have a physical health problem, like an injury or illness, it's possible to get better and feel well again. And it's the same with mental health. You just need to talk to the right people and ask for help. Sometimes the stresses of life can affect our mental health, and we don't feel we can contribute at work or in our community the way we want to. It's okay. Everyone can have a bad day or feel bad for much longer periods of time. There are lots of things about life and work that can affect our mental health. You may feel unwell because of stress at work, or maybe you're feeling low after losing someone you love. A traumatic event, a physical injury, or taking drugs can also affect your mental health. You might feel anxious or low, or just want to hide away. If you're having a bad day, Able Futures could help you get.
All right, I will stop right there. That's a bit of promotion over there. But the point of the video is that mental illness can really affecting your daily life. So yeah, if you need help, talk to someone, share your problems, go see someone who you trust, who you love, and yeah, get some help, because that's how important it is. So I think we're coming to the end of the video, this presentation. So thank you guys for listening to our presentation. And first of all, I want to say sorry for the technical issue in the earlier, because our presenter Malik unfortunately have with technical issue that he can be here today. So yeah, I hope it's useful and you got new knowledge. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for your attention. I am Naskia.
I'm Naswa.
And Malik. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, wow, that was very interesting, and I feel like I really learned a thing or two about how important our mental health is. Thank you, Group One. That was that was great. Okay, I don't really want to waste a lot of time. So now let's just see the performance of Group Two. Group Two, you may start your presentation now.
Thank you so much, Umar. Hello, my name is Mohammed Malcolm X, and today we're going to talk about education in the pandemic. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, hello, my name is Muhammad Malcolm X, and today we're going to talk about education in the pandemic. So, our presenters are me, Muhammad Malcolm X, and then
My name is Alia.
My name is Nayaka.
okay, and the topics that we're going to talk about is first topic is going to be online learning. The second topic is going to be how is the education sector responding to COVID-19. The third topic is going to be learning loss due to school closures during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the last topic is what does it mean for the future of learning? So, online learning, the challenges of online learning. There are challenges to overcome. Some students without reliable internet access and/or technology struggle to participate in digital learning. This gap is seen across countries and between income brackets within countries. For example, whilst 95% of students in Switzerland, Norway, and Austria have a computer to use for their schoolwork, only 34% in Indonesia do, according to OECD data. Is learning online as effective? For those who don't have access for the right technology, there is only evidence that learning online can be more effective in a number of ways. Some research shows that on average, students retain 25 to 60% more material while learning online compared to the 8 to 10% in a classroom. This is mostly due to the students being able to learn faster from e-learning requiring 40 or 60% less time to learn in traditional classroom setting because students can learn at their own pace, going back, rereading, skipping, or accelerating through concepts as they choose. So one of the challenges of online learning is pretty much not having a good internet because internet packages is quite expensive nowadays, and it's kind of hard to buy if it's expensive. The second one is difficult. It's difficult to adapt to new learning environments because normally you can just focus on one thing. There's only one thing to focus in class, and that is pretty much the material that you're learning. But if you're at your house, there's still uh, like phones and stuff. It's pretty much a different environment. The third one is disturbance at your home. Pretty much, I know this has happened to anybody when you're trying to work or when you're trying to learn in school. There's somebody or someone in your family member to just annoy you at home, probably. And the fourth one is not reliable enough technology because as like a good internet nowadays, technology is quite expensive nowadays. It's pretty much really expensive, so it's hard to get a reliable technology for cheap nowadays. So let's get to the next topic. How is the education sector responding to COVID-19? In response to a significant demand, many online learning platforms are offering free access to their servers, including platforms like BYGU's, a Bangalore-based educational technology and online tutoring firm founded in 2011, which is now one of the world's most highly valued edtech company. Since announcing free classes on its Think and Learn app, BYGUs has seen a 200% increase in the numbers of new students using its product. According to Mrinal Mohit, the company's chief operating officer. Meanwhile, Tencent Classroom has been extensively used since the mid to February after the Chinese government instructed a quarter of a billion full-time students to resume their studies through online platforms. This resulted to the largest online movement in the history of education, with approximately 7,300 or 91% of K-12 students attending class via Tencent K-12 K-12 online school in Wuhan. So pretty much the educational sector right now, pretty much everybody is going online, and learning apps like BY Juice is really taking off. So pretty much like that. And so we're gonna go to the next topic, and I'm gonna leave this to Alia.
Okay. Learning loss due to school closures during the COVID-19 pandemic. School closures have been a common tool in the battle against COVID-19, yet their costs and benefits remain insufficiently known. We used a natural experiment that occurred as national examinations in the Netherlands took place before and after lockdown to evaluate the impact of school closures on students' learning. The Netherlands is interesting as a base case scenario with a short
Apaan itu nih?
credible
Lu ngapain nih?
and world-leading grades. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Miss Wirya Aini, can you turn
sorry.
off your mic? Thank you. Okay, you may continue.
Okay, thank you. And world-leading rates of broadband access. Despite favorable conditions, we find that students made little or no progress while learning from home. Learning loss was most pronounced among students from disadvantaged homes. Okay, for the next will be explained by Nayaka.
Okay, thank you, Alia. I will explain about what does this mean for the future of learning. While some believe that the unplanned and rapid to online learning with no training, insufficient bandwidth, and little preparation will result in a poor user experience that is unconducive to sustained growth, others believe that a new hybrid model of education will emerge with significant benefits. I believe that the integration of information technology in education will be further accelerated, and that online education will eventually become an integral component of school education. Sei Wang To, Vice President of Tencent Cloud and Vice President of Tencent Education. There have already been successful transitions amongst many universities. For example, Zhejiang Universities managed to get more than 5,000 courses online just 2 weeks into the transitions using Dingtao ZJU. The Imperial College London started offering a course on the science of coronavirus, which is now the most enrolled class launched in 2020 on Coursera.
Okay, thank you so much, Nayaka and Alia. And before I end this presentation, I have a video to show to you guys. Here. Oh yeah, wait a second.
Picture your own personal experience of going to school, getting off the bus, sitting in class, eating lunch with friends, class activities together. Well, for more than an entire school year, as you know, much of that was gone, replaced by Zoom, Google Classroom, and Microsoft Teams during the pandemic. The long-term impacts on America's children remains to be seen, but in December, the consulting firm McKinsey & Company estimated that students could lose 5 to 9 months of learning in mathematics by the end of this school year, and students of color could be an entire year behind. In higher education, one report found a 6.8% drop in college enrollment in 2020, with community colleges hit the hardest. And the pivot to virtual learning exposed a long-running digital divide, with Pew finding that 80% of white people surveyed in February had access to broadband at home, compared to 71% of Black adults and 65% of Hispanic adults. And with the so-called racial reckoning taking place over the past year, a controversy over how to tackle issues of race in schools, more specifically, whether critical race theory, an academic concept about systemic racism, is making its way in classrooms. We've covered this issue and heard from parents on both sides of this heated debate.
Children are being taught to see each other as defined by their skin color.
We have a great opportunity to elevate the education and the humanity and the citizenship of all of our students.
And finally, even before the pandemic, many schools were becoming more technologically advanced and preparing students for an increasingly digital and automated world. So what lessons have we all collectively learned from this distance learning? To examine the future of education.
Okay, so that was the video, and thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to fill the attendance form. And I guess this is it for my presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be giving this to the moderator, Umar.
Okay, thank you, group 2. That was, to me, I think that was a very, very updated news of our current state in learning during this pandemic. Hopefully it'll get better. Okay, so next we have a question and answer session. But there are 2 parts to the question and answer session. The first one is for the presenters. I will give them the opportunity to ask one another about their presentation. So maybe they have questions from group 1 to group 2 or group 2 to group 1. I give them chance now. So let's start with group 1. Go ahead, group 1, you may ask your question.
Okay, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nayaka and I'm from group 2. My question is, how can we know that we have mental illness?
Okay, Nazkia, your group maybe can answer this. It's asking the question, how do you know if you have mental illness? Okay, is that clear enough as a question for you? Can you answer that?
Okay, I want to answer the question, please. May I?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Hello, my name is Alaka Matikasibuan. The question is, can you repeat again, please?
So her question was, how do we know if we have mental illness right now in this current state and everything?
I think you should start with yourself, educate yourself about mental disorders in general and how important it is. Then you can start with other family members and have talk the definition of mental disorder. Maybe you can start conversation about their problems, or do they have mental struggles. Just sharing with each other, being open with your family is challenging, but with that you can raise the awareness. Okay, I think it's enough.
Okay, that was a bit lacking, but we understand some of that. We understand that. So, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Is there any other question that group want to ask?
I want to ask.
Okay, what is it?
How can we tell our parents that we have mental illness?
Okay. So group 1, you may answer this. She asked, how do we tell our parents that we have a mental illness?
Can I?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Thank you for the question. I am Naswa from group 1. I will answer the question. I think the only way to tell them, just tell them, because the good parents are parents who want to listen their children opinions. That's my thank you.
Thank you. So Alia, is that clear enough as an answer for you?
Yes, that's enough.
Okay, now it's your turn, group one, to ask group two if about their presentation. If you have any questions, you can ask me now, and I'll ask them.
Okay, may I?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hello, my name is Elaika Manakasibuan. I am from Presenter Group 1. My question is, educations, teachers play a big role in these situations. How do you think they could help the student to be more active and productive in online learning?
Okay, so you're asking how to stay productive during these times, yes? Okay, group two, can you answer the question? They asked, how do you stay productive during this pandemic current state right now?
Okay, thank you for the question from group one. I will answer it. I think you can make a to-do list, complete your assignment before the deadline, or you can avoid avoid things that can bother you, like silent your phone.
Is that it? Okay, Malik,
I
is
got
that,
it.
you
Thank
got
you.
it? Okay, great. Okay, is there any other questions for group two from group one? The option is still open for you if you have any other questions for group two. Is there no other question from group one to group two? Naskia?
All right. So I have a question.
Okay.
So like the student, you say that how to get productive, but right now, because the education, teachers play a big role also. What do you think they should do to get the student, to encourage the student to be more active? So what do you think about that?
Okay, so group two, I think she's asking how what is the best way for the teacher to keep us productive, the way they maybe teach us, maybe in the way that it's more fun or something that that makes us more productive. How do we do that? How do the teachers do that?
Okay, I will answer the question. It's pretty simple. The teachers can give additional value when students actively ask question or actively answer, because when the teacher do that, honestly, it makes all students feel excited to learn. Okay, that's all.
Umar, your microphone still off.
Oh, sorry. Um, say, okay, thank you, sorry. Thank you, Miss Naskia. Is that a clear enough question?
Yes,
Answer.
thank you. Thank you, Alia.
Okay, so I think that's the end for this session of Q&A from the presenters. Now we get to our last session of Q&A, which is Q&A, but with the observers now. Okay, so to all the participants who have questions for both group one and group two, you may now ask me. You can add a chat box, or you can just raise your hand and ask it to me personally. Okay, Chika, what is your question? And for what group?
Okay, I want to ask for group 1. My question is, earlier in your presentation, there was something that mentioned about anxiety disorder and how to deal with people who have anxiety disorder. Thank you.
Okay, so group 1, she asked, how do you work with these people that have mental anxiety disorder problems? So can you answer that, group 1?
Right, I might answer your question. So the first thing about the most important thing is about facing someone with anxiety disorder is, I think, start a conversation with them. You start talking to them to know what their problem is, because some of people who actually have anxiety disorder, they don't like to be called with they don't like to be called as someone who have anxiety disorder. So try to talk to them and be always be there for them, and just be friends. Actually, most of people who are have anxiety disorder, they're like lost. They don't know what to do. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what they're going through. So maybe you can help them by that. Yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Okay, is that a clear enough answer for you, Chika?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. El, you have a question?
Yes. Is there any effect of the pandemic of mental health? And
yeah.
if you
yeah,
say
and
yes,
for what group are you asking this question?
I ask it for group 1, group
Okay.
Naskia.
Okay, continue.
And you say, if you say yes, what is the example and how to solve it?
Could you repeat your question, please?
Is there any effect of the pandemic on mental health? If you say yes, what is the example and how to solve it?
Okay. So group 1, he's asking about, does this pandemic affect our mental health? And if yes, how or why? Okay.
Okay. I might answer again the question. So thank you, Elle, for the question. That's really good question, actually. So what's the pandemic effect? So I think first one, because of the pandemics, we have lockdown, right? Especially you're not going to school like for like 1.5 years right now. Wow, that's a long time. And I guess one of things about affecting our mental health is we're not really have many social interaction. Even we have like online Zoom or like Google Meet and WhatsApp and everything, we as a human need to like face to face and social interaction, and that's one of the affect. And what's the effect? Maybe they can feel anxiety disorder. That's one of it, because it's most common, because they don't, some people that don't have someone to talk with, so it's hard for them. And how to solve it? Yeah, how to solve it is just maybe try to talk to someone who really close to you, like your family. I know sometimes it's hard to being open with your family, but try to talk with your brother, sisters, or maybe your parents, your cousin, whoever. So try to do social interaction and try to talk with people. Okay. I hope that's answer your question.
Okay. Thank you. El, is that a clear answer?
It's clear and helpful for me. Thank you, Umar and Naskia.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Will, you got a question?
First of all, hello.
For
That
group
was a
what
good.
too? For group what?
Hold on. Okay, let me say something. First of all, that was a good presentation from group 1 and group 2. I feel I learned a lot, and I want to ask some question to a group 1. My question is, let me check 1 sec. My question is, what can we do if the professional help or support doesn't help us in fighting against mental illness? That's my question.
Okay, group 1, can you answer this? What should we do if they don't help us in going through these mental illness problems? Can you answer this? Group 1?
For that, can we get some sometimes discussable it, like a 1 minute? Is
Okay,
it
okay.
All right, thank you
Gotcha.
so much.
Welcome. Meanwhile, I'd like to remind you guys to fill the absence form on the chat box. And maybe there's any other question from someone else, maybe about group 2 this time. Okay, Isaura, you have a question for group 2. You can say it now.
Okay, I have a question for a group 2. First, I'm from group 4. I'm Isaura, and the question is, what has been the most challenging about the school experience during COVID-19?
Okay, group 2, can you answer the question from Isaura?
All right, I'll answer that.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Umar, and that's actually a pretty good question. What is challenging? Most challenging part, I think, for myself, the most challenging part of the school at home is pretty much not able to focus at one thing because there is so many distractions at home, and it's pretty much really annoying that you cannot focus on one thing. Pretty much hard things like materials. Really, it's really hard to get into my head because it's there's so many distractions. I think that'll be the answer.
Okay, Isaura, is that a clear enough answer for you?
Yes, that's clear enough. Thank you.
Okay, back to Naskia. Have you found the answer to Will's question?
Can I?
Okay, you may.
Ask your God and pray according to your religion or your belief. It's if your professional could help you.
Okay. Will, how about that? Does that answer your question?
I was expecting a more answer, but that's fine, I guess. Thank you for the answer.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Nadine Safira. What
Hey,
is your
hello.
question?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Nadine and I am from group 3. So I have a question for group 1. The question is, have you ever felt mental disorder before and how did you handle it?
Okay,
Have
group
you
what?
ever felt mental disorder before and how did you handle it? Thank you.
Thank you. Group 1. So the question is, have you ever have a mental disorder problem and how did you go through it if you have?
Okay, can I?
Yes, you may.
Thank you for the question. I will answer the question. Okay. Yes. Last night I have a psychology stress because of presentation. The solution is I talk to my parents, my friends, and pray to God. I think it will make me feel better.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Nadine?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So next, Pradeepa, you have a question?
Okay, hello, my name is Freddy Paradiso from Group 4. Hello, question is, what is the education we get from school is not effective to ourselves?
Could you repeat that, Deepa? You're kind of lagging, and maybe if it's not stopped, you can maybe just chat in the chat box. Okay, I think you have a internet problem.
We get from school.
Just chat in the chat box, because I think you have an internet problem. Does anybody else also have a question for group 1 or group 2? We have about a minute left for question and answer session. Oh, okay. We'll take about maybe 2 or 3 more questions, and that's it. Hopefully, because our time is limited. Elle, you got another question?
I have a question for Malcolm Group.
Okay.
If the teacher gives the student too many assignments, meanwhile, students still have many things to do. So what is the solution?
Okay, group 2. What should we do, or what should the teacher do if we have too many assignments in one time?
Thanks.
Can we
All
answer
right.
this?
Thanks for the question. And I think that sorry. So I think that the teacher should maybe give us a little bit more space to think. And I think for us personally, for the students, we should do our school works first. When we got our schoolwork, we need to just do it. After we got it, we straight up do it, because so it doesn't stack up. That's my opinion.
Okay. Elle, does that answer your question?
I'm agree with you, Com. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. And we'll just take 2 more questions. So first, I'm just going to take from Deepa earlier. For group 2, Deepa asked, what if the education we get from school is effective to ourselves, isn't effective to ourselves? What do we do about that, group 2?
Okay, I'll answer that again. So in my opinion, I think that if we don't get, if the education don't isn't effective to us, I think we should get more education, more like getting, what is it called, like pretty much outside help, like as in my presentation, like BYGUs, or in Indonesia ruang guru, because if you if you don't if you can't if your school isn't effective, there is more outside help, pretty much. Yeah, I think that is it.
Okay, does that answer your question, Deepa?
Yeah, it's very helpful. Thank you, Malcolm.
Okay, so I just realized we actually started a little late, so I'm just going to give at least just three more questions. Let's start from Fitaya. You have a question, and for what group?
For group 1,
Go on.
when they're talking about how to prevent the anxiety disorder, Naskia said we have to meet the need to rest. What if, like, in some situations, like, you just don't have the time to rest and don't have the time to talk with your family and with professional, like, do you have any other way to prevent?
Okay, is that it? Yeah, okay. So group 1, I think her question is, what do we do? Is there another way of maybe chilling or something if we don't have time for resting, sleeping, or talking to a professional, or even just your parents? What if we don't have time for that? Like, we're very busy. So do you know what to do about this, group 1?
Okay, I might answer the question. Okay. First of all, that was a good question, Vitaya. Thank you for that. So, as I meet the need of rest, as I meet the need, so everyone have different needed in their life. So I feel like the most important thing in it to be balanced. If you really have that a lot of works, for example, maybe in 1 week, you have that a lot of assignments to do, and then you start like have a sleep late at night, it's no problem unless until you have like in the next day you sleep more. Then the thing is most important to be balanced. So don't overwork yourself. Like, no matter what, you're not a machine, and if you like do a lot of work, it will be too much for us. So I think the answer is you need to be balanced. You need to know the schedule. You need to know what you do and what you need. I hope that answered the question.
Okay, so does that answer your question, Pitaya?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Fia, do you have a question? And for group 1 or group 2?
Okay, so first of all, my name is Fia and I'm from group 11. I have a question for group 1. Group 1, what do you think about parents who don't believe in depression? Thank you.
Thank you. Group 1. Wow, okay. What do we do if our parents don't believe in, what is it, mental breakdown or stress, those kind of things that really just what we just spoke about earlier, okay? What do we do about that if our parents don't believe in that and they just feel like, oh, yeah, sorry, it's normal?
Okay, for that, do we have more times for it, or because I think we need to discuss about that. Do we have time or
Okay,
not?
okay, you can get more time.
Okay,
I
thank
give
you
you
so
about
much.
1 minute or so. Okay, again, I would like to remind you once more that we have a attendance form in the chat box. You should fill it. And also, in the meantime, does anyone else have a question for group 2? Because group 1 is still searching for the answer to the question from Fia. I think it's better if you just ask a question to group 2 first. Maybe they can answer for now. Amanda, do you have a question for group?
Yes. So my Jaya from group 5. I want to ask question for group 2. My question is learning during pandemic? I want to ask your opinion. Is learning during pandemic is effective or not? And maybe you can give a reason why.
Okay, group 2. Do you know how to answer this? She asked your opinion. Is online learning effective and why? If it, your answer, she also asked why it is or isn't effective.
I'll answer that. Okay, thank you for the question, Amanda. So, is it effective or no? Depending on the student, I guess. But for me personally, it isn't as effective as offline learning, because in online learning you can only focus on one thing normally, because there's only one thing in your class that is pretty much big, the whiteboard, and normally the only person that speaks is the teacher. But if you're at home at your computer or phone, there's so many things that could pretty much there's so many temptations for you to like listen to music or watch something, play games, and it's a different environment. It's pretty much not as effective. It's pretty much really different in my opinion. Yeah, it's pretty much not effective at all. Not effective at all, but it's pretty much not as effective as offline schooling. That's my opinion, though. Thank you.
Okay, does that answer your question, Amanda?
Yes, very clearly. Thank you, Malcolm.
Okay, thank you. Naskia, have you found the answer?
Okay, may I?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um, okay, you can find someone who actually trusts you and love you, that make you comfortable, educate them slowly. Maybe you can just share opinion with your parents. Try to be chill with it. It takes time. Just start with the conversations. I think it's
Okay. How's that? Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're just gonna take one more question because we're running out of time. Sorry for those who don't get to ask questions, but okay, one more from Malik El Sabaz. Do you have a question? Malik El Sabaz, do you have a question for either group 1 or group 2?
Yes. Sorry. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, I want to ask for group 2. Actually, what is according to group 2? What is the effective ways of learning during this pandemic? Because that according to the presentation, it is very difficult for you guys to accept this learning situation. So, what is the effective ways of learning during this? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Group 2, what is the effective way for you,
I'll
for
answer
us
that.
to learn during this pandemic, since you said it's a bit hard these days? So you can answer now.
That's right. So in my opinion, it's more effective to learn not only with your school and learn to more like ruang guru and more stuff like that. Because if it's only one thing that you're learning to, normally there's so many temptations when you're online schooling that it doesn't get inside your head. It just get inside and then it goes straight out of your head. So that's why I just recommend like other things. Okay, pretty much like that, I guess.
Okay, thank you, group 2. Um, Malik El Sabaz, miss, or ma'am, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's the end of our session, I think. Okay, so we've reached the end of our event, but before we end this meeting, I would like to refresh your memories again to what we just learned from our dear speakers today. So there are two conclusion or points that I got. The first one is that mental health is very important, especially for teens in this time, in the state of COVID. We need to stay positive, happy, so that we don't fall into issues like having mental instability, etc. And the second one is actually more about what is our current state as students during the pandemic. I would love to re-explain again to you guys about what group 2 just explained, but I think that would take too long again, and maybe you guys will get bored, or maybe you'll just get more attracted. Either way, it'll take too long, and it's just gonna take more time. We're wasting time. So uh, thank you. I'm just gonna end it here. Thank you all for joining. Don't forget to fill the form sent in the chat box. Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And host, you may take the meeting back now. To Hilbram, the host, I give the meeting back to you now.
Okay, I think Ilbram has a technical issue. Okay, I'll take this room, Umar. So
Okay.
before we end this meeting, let Miss Theo and Miss Wirya, do you want to say something for our presenters or our moderator today?
Yes, of course. So let me first, Miss V, it's okay?
Yes, Miss Tio.
Okay, so everyone, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate whatever you done. You do good. It's a good, well done, awesome. What else? Excellent. Yeah, I am amazed with your performance. It's an interesting theme, interesting presentation, and everything it did well so far. Good. Okay. And then, but I have some notes here. Is it okay? It's okay lah, yeah, because it's first meeting. I put some notes here. The first one I appreciate with team A, yeah, group one. Group one, yeah, group one, team one. Actually, one of your member has had trouble issues, and then but you handle it well. Okay, so as your title of presentation, mental illness. So it didn't happen with you when your friends got some troubles, and it didn't affect with your performance. That's good. And for moderator, Umar, I have some notes for you actually. So because you are MC or what is called that, the one, it's a main role, yeah, for this webinar or presentation. So before someone answer the question, so please let them or remind them to mention their name first, their name, and then what team are they, or what group are they, okay? And then for conclusion, actually it's not your job. Conclusion is for presenter. Okay, so you have to let group one and group two to give their conclusion. Okay, Umar, but you are good. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. And then for Al, I want to add Malcolm's comment or opinion about our question. Relate with a teacher give you more tasks. So Malcolm, are you there? Oh, you are.
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry for the question, Miss.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Al. So in my opinion, it's my opinion. So I think that your teacher is not heartless. So I think that you can what is called that, make a deal first with your teacher. If you had a lot of tasks, yeah, like Naswa said before, you felt stressed with the tasks. Yeah, I know it. But what I have to say, yeah, if you want to get a good or excellent result, you have to do more effort. Okay, so it's up to you. If you want to get more or you want to make a good wine, the good one, you have to put more effort, okay, of it. So yeah, I'm sorry if your teacher is heartless. So that's all from me. Thank you. Bulan 1 pioneer class, you did well. That's from me. Thank you, Miss Chika.
Thanks a lot, Miss Tia. Okay, next, Miss Uwi, it's your turn.
Thank you, Miss Chika. It's still recording, yeah.
It's okay, Miss Uwi. Just bilingual.
Yes, I have groggy, yeah, and I say hi. The first, thank you for inviting me to the great activity. Yeah, this is is amazing. Yeah, good. And the method is very interesting. Yeah. Up to date to know gitu ya beberapa pertanyaan tuh kan udah Indonesia lagi. Beberapa pertanyaan menarik ya terkait sama guru. Tadi ada yang dilurusin ya dikit deh. Statement wait what if the education we get from school isn't effective to ourselves? Yeah. That maybe the education we have not like our expectation, ya. Nggak seperti yang kita bayangin, but the education pasti apa sih? Pasti ada kebaikan di dalamnya, entah bentuknya apa. And we kita nggak tahu when the apa sih hasil edukasi itu bisa dipakai gitu. So keep spirit the best ya, better and better every day, and you can influence the everyone. Tadi apa ya? In a moment, the student of 10 Science 3 regular join with your activity. That you can influence them gitu. Jadi kalian juga bisa memanfaatkan momen ini untuk berbagi kebaikan gitu ya. Jadi saya sendiri untuk ngerti sih ada ya ngerti, cuma untuk ngebalas kalian itu agak susah. Cuma di sini tadi ada apa ya? Ada yang semangat banget ya. Di setiap kelompok pasti ada yang semangat banget. Tadi Naskia ya, benar nggak sih? Ya, the group 1 is Naskia and group 2 is Malcolm ya. Cuma untuk Malcolm, you can see the audience maybe supaya nggak kelihatan apa ya, cuek. You can see the camera, not the apa, the layar ya, layar. Nah, like that. Yes. Gitu. Ya, karena tampilannya akan berbeda gitu. Kok nih orang ngomong nggak ngelihat muka gitu kan? Jadi apalagi yang nggak ngerti bahasa Inggris gitu kan? Ya elah, langsung down gitu ngelihat Malcolm ya. Padahal kan isinya tetap yang dibicarakan baik ya. Itu. Maybe enough, Miss Chika. Sorry if apa ya, bahasa Inggrisnya nggak bagus. Terus tadi ada accident. Okay. Thank you for you all. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks a lot, Miss Uwi, for the advice. Okay, and we have another teachers here. There are Miss Kamala, Miss Ike, Miss Ruyolojo, and Mr. Nasuha. Maybe some of you want to say something to our presenters and moderator today. Teachers, thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr.
I want to say a good job and I'm salute. Yeah. Enough. I think enough in English, ma. Enough. Good. Thank you, Miss Omar. Good job, ma.
Thank you, Pak.
Thanks a lot, Babe. Okay, Ma'am Ika, want to say something, ma'am?
Yes, Miss Chika. Actually, I want to say something. The first thing, I really appreciate all the participants' effort to speak in English. Very much appreciated. You have already did great. And although this is the first Pesat Speaks Up, but you have already done a great job. And I believe for the next session, there will be improvement for Pesat Speak Up. Don't be hesitate to speak. Don't be shy to share your opinion, to share the idea. Thank you very much, Miss Tika. That's all from me.
Thanks a lot, Ma'am Ika. Miss Kamala, how about you? Want to say something?
Thank you, Miss. Okay.
first time I'm so surprisingly because I've never teach this class, Miss. Yeah. 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 um I'm appreciate for all because you're so fluently in English, and good job, good job, guys. I hope you always had
Okay.
like this. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Miss Kamala. Miss Kamala, she is not the pioneer teacher, but she wants to join to watch you guys because Miss Kamala is social teacher. This is the geographic teacher. Yes, so she not teach you. Okay. Before we end this meeting, let's take a picture together. So please, I beg to you to turn on the camera. Okay. For all the participants, show me your beautiful face. Okay, we have two slides here. Okay, we will start for the first slide. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait, we have Phoebe, Dafa, Dwika, Dafa, Miss Santi. Can you turn on the camera? Okay, Dwika, Dafa, and Dafa. Double Dafa, please turn on the camera. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thanks. Okay, Hilbram is here. Are you there? Hilbram?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, can you close this room?
Okay. Thank you for all the teachers. Sorry in advance before I have a trouble connection. Before I will end this meeting, don't forget to fill the attendance link in the chat box. Yeah, that's for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I end the meeting now.